thing on? Where?
So what, we get drunk. So what, we smoke weed. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out.
Hey, let me get a lighter.
That's how it's supposed to be.
You know I'm high as fuck.
Young and wild.
Keep that in there.
And free.
So what? I keep it rolled up, sagging my pants, not caring what I show. Keep it real with my niggas, keep it playing for these hoes. It look clean, don't it? Washed it the other day, watch how you lean on it. Eat me some 501 jeans on it, roll joints bigger than King Kong's fingers, and smoke them hoes down to they stingers. You a class clown, and if I skip for the damn with your bitch smoking gray.
So what, we get drunk. So what, we smoke weed. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out. That's how it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free.
Yeah, you know what? It's like I'm 17 again, peach fuzz on my face. Looking on the case, trying to find a hella taste. Oh my God, I'm on the chase. Chevy is getting kinda heavy. Irrelevant, selling it, dipping away. Time keeps slipping away. Zipping the safe, flipping for pay. Tipping like I'm dripping in paint. Up front, 4 blunts like a leaf. Put the wheat in the
So what,
shade.
we get drunk. So what, we smoke weed. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out. That's how it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free.
Yeah, roll one, smoke one. When you live like this, you're supposed to party. Roll one, smoke one, and we all just having fun. So we just roll one, smoke one. When you live like this, you're supposed to party. Roll one, smoke one, and we all just having fun.
So what, we get drunk. So what, we smoke weed. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out. That's how it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free. So what, we get drunk. So what, we smoke weed. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out. That's how it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free.
Yeah. High school, man. Hey, Wes, I'm gonna get with you in third period tomorrow.
For them, it's high school. For me, it is the world of Web3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wine Down Wednesday. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be your host for the day. Just before we get started, I have to change the title to the 2 glasses of wine because I really do hope I'm not the only one drinking wine in the mornings on Wednesdays for ENS updates. And if I am, that is perfectly fine. That is perfectly okay because I'm going to hold it down, and Wind Down Wednesdays early in the morning is really meant for me, to be honest. And if you guys want to join, by all means, please go ahead and join. But very exciting news, very exciting things today. I try to invite Brantley and Mr. Higgins from Shark Tank this morning. Still no word and no response from Higgins, but Brantley actually did respond and said, "Hey, he's down to join. He won't be able to join today, but he'll definitely be joining sometime soon." And we all know Brantley as kind of for a very long time, excuse me, the face of ENS, almost, right? So the guy just brings such a unique perspective to ENS. I don't know what his past whatever was, but I just know I want that guy on the show. So let's kind of get this thing started, shall we? But before we get started, it's going to be a juicy episode. It is going to be a juicy episode packed with a lot of alpha, great people, great speakers, all of the above. All of the above is going to happen here. But I need one favor from you guys. Let's go ahead and retweet this room. Let's spread the message. Let's get it out. You don't have to retweet the room if you don't want to. It's perfectly fine. It's just it's kind of a force of habit for me to kind of say that at this point, hosting these spaces. But I want to start off by saying, Drea, shout out to Drea. If you guys weren't on yesterday's episode, I pinpointed that she made a phenomenal thread about ENS subdomains, its potential use cases, what they'll be used for. It's literally the very first pinned tweet to the top. So you guys just it's what, a 2-minute read, a 3-minute skim through. Just kind of go through there, and you guys can kind of get some ideas flowing on where subdomains will be going. And like I also said yesterday, we probably don't even know the potential use cases. We can't fathom the potential use cases also of where the future of subdomains will lead us. Cool. Just to recap, another thing that happened yesterday was we talked a lot about Twitter is going to be incorporating wallets into their platform for crypto deposits and withdrawals. What that means is you don't probably will not need to use your MetaMask, Coinbase, Binance, or whatever accounts anymore, because you will have that directly on Twitter. So you could come here, you come on Spaces, you could come here, you could, interact with your wallet, trade NFTs, send payments, receive payments. I don't know how in depth and how deep they're going to go, but I'm pretty sure if they're gonna roll that feature out over time, it's going to get really, really deep, and it's going to get to the point where your wallets become a bigger social platform, a bigger social identity than your actual Twitter itself, than your actual Instagram, your actual Facebook, your actual TikTok, whatever it is, right? That's the world we're going to. Wallets matter, and because wallets matter, that's why ENS is going to prevail. And that's just one aspect of ENS. I'm about to get to another aspect of ENS besides just naming your wallet and how important wallets actually are. Um, breaking news. Swiss bank SIBA integrates NFT so that bank, retail, and institutional clients can now store tokens from NFT collections like Bored Apes and CryptoPunks directly in their bank accounts. The bank released the following statement basically saying, "We believe in the coming years, digital assets, including NFTs, will gain adoption and be increasingly accepted even by traditional finance operators." Personally, if for those people, and I like to think of my parents in a sense, because they're more of a traditional, and they're probably more so stuck in their ways. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's just more so what they're programmed to, and they decided to, let's say, invest into a crypto punk or a Bored Ape. I could 100% see them being more safe having that in custody with a bank account than on a ledger. And that's just the facts, right? I know we talk about decentralization. Why would anybody want to store it on a centralized server? The truth is, some people might just simply be more comfortable with that, having a centralized server or centralized service holding their assets, and they because that's the world we've been living in, right? We're not going to automatically go from Web 2 to everything decentralized overnight, right? This is literally going to be a process that happens over the next 20 years, the next 2 decades or so, where we're going to transition from where we are today to probably almost a decentralized world. So anyway, I think that's bullish news for the main reason of that. Banks are thinking about Web3. Everybody's thinking about digital assets. Everybody's thinking about, how can I incorporate, how can I adapt? Because if you do not adapt, if you do not evolve, you will fade and you will die in the time history that you decided not to move forward with. And it is what it is. That is the facts of the situation. So those who are trying to adapt, those who are trying to evolve, they're going to make it. Those who are stuck in their ways and saying, I don't need that technology, digital assets, digital collectibles, NFTs, so forth and so on, doesn't matter. We won't see them around in the next 5 to 10 years. That's facts, because other companies will arise and take over them, eat them up. It is what it is. That's the rule of business. Brantley made a phenomenal thread on the difference between signing with Ethereum and Connect Wallet. He went into great detail on the difference between signing with Ethereum and Connect Wallet. Now, basically, signing with Ethereum could be used for any legacy Web2 company today. Facebook, Instagram, Google, whatever it is, you could kind of incorporate signing with Ethereum today, as compared to Connect Wallet is a bit different. I suggest, I'm not going to go into the full details because it is a pretty lengthy thread, but it's very educational, and it really clears the air on hey, just because you're connecting your wallet to a website doesn't necessarily mean that you're signing into Ethereum. So really cool stuff that he did there. You could pin that, you could cash that to the top, like it, save it, do whatever you would like with it. And also, just a reminder, well, I'll get into all those reminders and sponsors a bit later. I do want to go over welcome back our all-star. I want to welcome back our superstar. I want to welcome back our the guy's been with us from day one. He came back from an injury. And listen, as a coach, this was hard for me as a coach, as a guy who's running an organization here, because I'm running an organization here. You have a superstar who went away. He had an ankle injury. He was out for a couple weeks, and then you have a young star. You have a young star coming on, dropping triple doubles, dropping buckets, and I'm glad to have both of them on the team. I'm really glad to have both of you guys on the team, both of you guys, and most importantly, you have the veteran master who comes in, he does his job, he drops buckets every show, and he goes about his business. So I'm really grateful to have an all-star unit with me. Seriously, to the speakers on stage, to the speakers you see on stage right here, I'm grateful for you guys. You guys make this show. There is no ENS updates without Master Ron 3402 and NFT Verse. Seriously, next time anybody who ever brings up ENS updates and only gives me the credit, do not do that. Do not give 5159 the credit anymore, alone solely for what this thing has been built, because it has literally been a group effort, and these people have been with me side by side from the start, since April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and now we're going on to November. But with that being said, not Master Ron, if you want to tell us how your vacation was, that would be phenomenal, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, good to be back, man. Seems like yeah, you really get withdrawals when you're doing this every day, and all of a sudden I was literally without even a cell phone for a week, almost a week, up there in Kyrgyzstan, up there, and I was literally right on the Chinese border. I mean, there is no border up there because it's just mountains at 15,000 plus feet, right? So no one's crossing there or anything like that. But yeah, it was interesting experience. I mean, completely unplug even from a cell phone. So that was an interesting experience, and did some. I need to post some more videos of kind of those guys. They think they can take a horse right up, like what we would consider a peak on the in the United States. They ride the horses up there. So it was pretty crazy. I was kind of an amateur horse guy when I went there, but I kind of feel like I'm expert just in the fact I didn't die. I only almost died once, so that was pretty good considering we were riding those horses 20 miles a day. But yeah, I need to post some of the videos. It was crazy. Talk about Kyrgyzstan was like I hadn't even heard about it before I went hardly, and it was a really cool country. People were really nice. Former Soviet Union country. I thought it was going to be more sketchy, and it wasn't at all. Super safe. The police, the military guys. I mean, we had to go through a bunch of military checkpoints because since we were right on the border, really nice, and you didn't get like you do when you get pulled over by the cops in Mexico. It's kind of uncomfortable feeling. Didn't get that, so it was really cool. Really, kind of, I think a hidden gem as far as for like rock climbing, backpacking, camping. I think it's a cool country that's super cheap and wide open, no people. We literally drove 8 hours on a dirt road. I wouldn't suggest that because even if you don't get car sick, you tend to get car sick. But anyway, then spent a few weeks down in southern Turkey and Istanbul. Ended off with a day in Amsterdam, and yeah, it was a good trip. But it's weird. The time zones really mess you. I was telling Thread Girl on a call this morning. It's like I have a whole new respect for people in different time zones because it's really different. It's really, really different, to especially the ENS happy hour, which I got on to 2 out of the 3 weeks I was gone, but literally 4 a.m. my time to jump on that. So it was crazy, but yeah, good to be back. Always good to get out and see the world and see, every time I unplug just a little bit, I realize we're way earlier than we think because we're here, we're living, we're breathing, we're doing this thing. We're kind of in this echo chamber. But you step out and see the rest of the world, damn, they don't even hardly know what Bitcoin is, and here we're talking, the .eth and all this stuff. So way early, which is we got to set our mind, I think, to that, that we're early, even though we feel like stuff's happening, and it is. I mean, just the news when I could get on Twitter and stuff, and I did listen to quite a few spaces, but some of the times like I say, the few times I did jump on, it would cut out because I was on roaming, and sometimes you just cut out for no reason. But yeah, it was still the stuff I heard, and a lot of stuff happened since I've been gone. That's awesome. The Twitter thing I think is exciting. One thing too is there's no way that Elon isn't gonna integrate some kind of Dogecoin with it. And the good thing is that if I'm not mistaken, that you can receive Dogecoin at your ENS address, right? And if I'm not smoking dope there, I may be still suffering from the effects of walking around Amsterdam from 10 o'clock to 2 in the morning. Like, now they're serious about their weed, is all I will say. But yeah, if I'm not still have some residual effects from that, I believe you can get Dogecoin into your ENS address. I think that could be huge. There's no way Elon's not going to do something with Dogecoin and Twitter. And yeah, the banks, the centralized, to us who are kind of on the cutting edge, we hate the idea of centralization, but centralized custody of NFTs is huge. Like Kev was saying, I totally second that notion that is what's going to happen, because people are used to, if they forget their password, get a hold of their bank and get that password. That's just what world is we live in. So I think it's going to be big. All that stuff, going good. Looks like, is also, one thing I did see over the last couple of days, Google missed earnings and stuff, and that's very predictable because advertising is the first place people start cutting in a bad economy. They're going to do it, but these companies, they can adapt or die. I mean, I think Facebook's probably gone a little too extreme, with their emphasis they've put on the metaverse. They're probably a little early in what they're doing. Probably isn't going to help them in the short term, but all these companies are going to be looking for, where's the growth, where's the opportunity. They're not dumb. They may be inefficient, they may be big companies, but they're going to want to jump on this Web3 revolution. And to me, the most predictable component of Web3 is the .eth domains. I bought some. I was over there. I was surprised to see how big they are in the rest of the world. I actually bought some Turkish soccer sweaty hoodie just because, not because it was Turkish soccer, because I'm not a big soccer fan, but it had the Puma. Their whole store is in Puma, right? Like, Puma's huge over there, and I thought of Puma.eth, and so I did get me a soccer sweater when I was over there. But yeah, I was amazed to see how big Puma is. It's they have a lot bigger presence in the rest of the world, I think, than they do in the U.S. So that was interesting. But yeah, good to be back. Excited to hear all the input. Seeing the Maxis did some good stuff while I was gone. Was able to jump on a few conspiracy theory uh, calls while I was over there, and bought a few more Maxis while I was there, like another 10 or so on my trip. And yeah, just excited to be back, and excited to be back in the grind and see what's going on. Hopefully I'll be caught up within a couple of days.
Two bombs for the return of RN1, aka Ron. If you guys miss Ron's voice, go ahead and give this space a retweet. I want to take this second to and by the way, Ron, if I was on vacation with you, I would easily came back an extra 10 to 15 pounds, because the food you were posting looked absolutely phenomenal. If you didn't gain at least 5 to 10 pounds on that trip, I don't.
I lost 3 pounds. I lost
Wow.
3 pounds. I think there was those jumbo shrimp. Don't have that many calories, and it was crazy because I was living pretty high on the hog, but it's just because everything was like a third. Everything was literally a third to half or more from what you pay. I mean, I ate a steak, a T-bone steak in Kyrgyzstan for like $5. So a lot of good quality food. Lost 3 pounds though, so that was good.
Yeah, I 100% would have gained. Listen, I gained weight I gained weight going to a different city. I could only imagine going to a different country, what it would do to me. It is what it is. But glad to have you back, Ron. Love your insight. Love to see you, safe and return back safely with us. A lot has happened since, but it's just like that. It's plug and play. Is the name of the game. Let's go right over to our other superstar, Master, who is the veteran of the group. Master, good evening to you. Welcome on stage, brother.
Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome back, Ron. I actually almost going to start, almost on the way to write my journal of, the day number 14 without Ron, something like that. Yeah, really miss you guys when you are not here, and I hope you enjoy all the, the views, the experience, the food in Asia, and right. I hope someday we can meet somewhere in Asia, in China, in Taiwan, in anywhere. So yeah, because you are so related to China, so many connections, and you enjoy the Chinese food. I can even cook Chinese food for you, which must taste better than much of the Chinatown Chinese restaurants. But anyway, yeah, I really enjoy hanging out with you guys someday when it happens that can be in face to face. Yeah, really look forward to that. So about ENS, right now I think no news is good news. In the past, we say every news is good news, and right now because we see the boost of the ENS registration and the selling and this ground, being boosting from day and another. So if we zoom out and look back in the past 30 years of .com, there were 1 year and 2 year boost by maybe 1995, 96, but the price isn't like go to the sky immediately. It's wait for another 10 or 20 years till some tens of millions of US dollar sales happening. But it was not at very early time. It was year after year. But that doesn't mean on every single month it must have a boost. And also on weekly or on daily, we shouldn't count on every single day we hear something very special. Otherwise, this is nothing but a rug, right? And one more suggestion I have for majority of the participants in ENS is that we should choose smartly on our domains at this stage, because I hear a lot of people in this community, in this space on Twitter, sharing their thoughts about Web3, about the vision, about blockchain, why it can be so evolutional, why more user the adoption will be happening, which all makes perfect sense. But when I check their bags, unfortunately, I don't see so good names, right? So when we are talking about it, I just want to remind you guys: don't waste our energy. Our concentration worth a lot of money. Let's just try to turn our concentration into some real deals and hold it. That's the spirit. I mean 5 or 6 years, I don't think it needs to be that long, maybe 3 5 years. ENS will be something mainstream and everyone will be talking about it, and the VCs, when they come to a new project, they will firstly ask, what's your ENS? Something like that. It will happen someday, I guarantee you guys. But when that day comes, I need to make sure, how you guys, you need to make sure you have something decent in your bags for that day to come. They ask me, what do you have? I say, I have coin dollies and game dollies. I ask back, what do you have? He said, I have my beloved bird 123 dollies. That doesn't make sense, right? And he can even say, I have I have another thousand similar names. That doesn't count. That doesn't make sense at all, because domain is not for quantity. Those quantity of the names, of the bad names, will only keep sucking your liquidity, unfortunately, and you will become very poor. And because you have to feed them, and you don't you can't afford to throw them away, can't afford to let them drop. That's a dead end to it. So yeah, don't waste our concentration, don't waste our early participants vision on ENS, and don't waste all the time and this time with this space, with the community. Every single Twitter we put, don't waste these, and put our resource smartly and put them together. Sometimes one good name is way better than 100 ordinary names, not to mention comparing to shit names. That's the real truth. And lots of people, they keep asking me, hey, this name I will give you a very cheap price. Hey man, I don't enjoy cheap names. Don't show me cheap names, because that is a waste of my concentration. I don't even care. You send to me for free. I don't even care to change the association. You know, right? So yeah, everyone's time is very valuable. Just put our time, our effort, our money into the smart place. Make them maybe 100x or 10x, and with some certain time. Yes, that's all we what we are going to do. Always put the bet smartly. And also, another topic I'm going to bring up today is about ENS digits. We know that ENS digits is on fire in the past half year, and in the past 3 years, we didn't see ENS digits got got such a boost, something like that. But we need to be careful regarding some of the digits. From my perspective, starts from zero right now. 001, 002, these are the top names, right? Because on ID wise, these are the first couple IDs. This can be the very expensive or the most expensive ENS, could be. But imagine, what if someday the one character and the two character comes out? What if someday there is $1 or $10? What if you compare $10, comparing it to 010 dollars, right? People and we never know what will happen. And according to our understanding in ENS DAO, as long as sometimes there's a meeting within the DAO and someone throw out a proposal, and then the DAO will just vote. And highly likely, so far, majority of the votes after the agreement are passed, unfortunately, right now. So I think when the price is high, when it's a kind of having a great value, and it's no harm for us to to liquidate some of such names out that can be threatened by the potential one and two charts out. But at the meantime, if for example, one and two chart coming out, those premium words are still premium words. They say, if I need to run a project named coin.eth, and c.eth can never replace coin.eth. That's my spirit. Premium name is always premium name. It will not be, devalued or could be impacted, influenced by anything, shorter or longer. It doesn't work. But digits, we need to focus, especially initiated with zero. We need to be careful because these are very expensive right now. These are the top expensive, and we always want to sell the expensive and buy the cheap. But in ENS, maybe long-term vision wise, these floor will still go up. The 3 digits and 4 digits will keep going. I agree. I understand. But just make sure, we have the best of the configuration. Configuration means everything, every kind of things you have some, not putting everything into one, area, one category. Otherwise, it's just like buying insurance. You have to have something leveraged, here and there, so that to make our investment very healthy. And the 3 years later, when the mainstream comes, we need to make sure our bags are very healthy. It's all balanced. We have this, we have words, we have digits, everything. We have some, and to some not so good names, we can just sell for some liquidity when we really need some. But the top ones, for example, voice.com got sold for 30 million US dollar in the past. So we need to remember this. We need to put a mark on this. If you have voice.eth, then I would highly recommend you not to sell it below 30 million US dollars. That will be a startup for your dream. And the important part, the spirit for domain, is you need to dare to think. You need to dare to ask, because there is only one voice.eth. If you don't sell to him, what else can he do, right? And as long as DAO still keeps very neutral, it won't take your name out of you, because it's under the smart contract, not like the UDRP rule under the traditional TLD. So no one can take your name out from you. So what if you keep saying no? And what if they really like the name and they really want it badly, they cannot live without it? When that happens, something tremendous will happen. So we want to make sure we do the right work and all the preparation work before that day comes. That's all I'm going to share with you guys. Happy, it's a Wednesday, I think. Happy Wednesday, guys.
Bombs for Bombs for the veteran. By the way, Master, I would love to have your cooking, bro. I know you said you could cook better Chinese food than probably anything I'm eating. I'm trying here in Florida. So I do think the opportunity and the time will come where we will meet. And when we do, I would love a fresh plate from you, from Master himself. How phenomenal would that be, ladies and gentlemen? A fresh plate of food from Master himself. But I agree, man. That is alpha from Master. Um, he 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 reminds you always to have the conviction, right? And sometimes, like we kind of said, sometimes doing nothing is better than constantly trying to register new names or draining your liquidity, right? Sometimes it's just, hey, I have my bags, because how big do you want your bags to get ultimately, right? I don't know, everybody answer is different, but I think my bags are pretty packed. And for me at this point, it's my concern now is I have to renew all these names. I have to renew all these names. I have to renew all these names. So for me right now, I'm more focused on my current bags than I am on kind of registering new names or continuing to think innovatively and out the box and all that good stuff. So Master drops gems, and I'm also trying to snipe on secondary market as well. But we all have different strategies. We all will make it, because at this point, I think we all understand what we're looking for, how to look for it, what's gonna be wanted. So because there's so many resources out there. Shout out to ENS Shark Tank doing a great job in kind of bringing people back to reality on what their names are worth, what they're not worth, what they can get for a current market, and what they can potentially get for it on probably a few years down the line. So I love that show. Love what Stephen Miller's Flex, Fireball, and the rest of the guys are doing over there. I'm going to take this time to do a huge shout out to our sponsors. I want to shout out Cola Labs first. They are our newest sponsors to the ENS Update show. They basically make AI generated music to your ENS domain. So they are directly correlated with ENS. That is why we even did this partnership. So they have two pinned tweets to the top. They do have a whitelist open. Check them out. Sign up for the whitelist. So basically, they're good people, right? I want to give a shout out to the ENS Maxis as well. The ENS Maxis is hosting an ENS Halloween costume, an ENS Maxi Halloween costume contest, where they're giving away a zombie to the winner. And shout out to Domain Plug. Domain Plug is hosting a space later on today. I pinned that to the top. Set your reminders with Thread Girl and Gwayman. And last but not least, shout out to Crypto Slam. Crypto Slam is the one who sponsors the Weather Report segment of the show. Now, we'll keep the show moving right along here. Let's go right over to my boy ENS. I said ENS verse, my bad. NFT verse. The stage is yours, brother.
Wow, Kev. I'm just kidding, Kev. First of all, GM 5159, man, thank you as always for hosting. And one thing that you said earlier, man, you said that this is a group effort, right? But it starts with you, because it starts with consistency. So it's easy for everybody just to tap in, but you gotta start the space, right? You gotta start the space off. So and you got to be consistent doing that. So 5159, appreciate you for that. RN1.eth is back. What's up, Ron? Shout out to Master. Shout out to the speakers, NFL champion, Cola. Cola Labs, ENS Maxi. Shout out to the Maxis, of course. I see Punks in here. My girl 3402. See OX Tennis. Shout out to you, bro. And then I see Clip Dad in here too. So shout out to the whole entire community. But guys, I want to take a minute and paint a picture for you real quick. Okay. So all the new people in here, all the regulars in here, I want you to do something with. I want you to close your eyes real quick, and I'm going to paint this picture, right? So imagine if you're going to a Big Three basketball game. So this is the Big Three. If you guys haven't watched the Big Three, check it out. It's Ice Cube's team, right? Franchise, whatever, right? So imagine going to the Big Three game, right? And then you hear the announcer calling out. You got the three players that's going to start. They're going to announce it, right? You hear, oh, we got the point guard at 6'2", 5159.eth. Hey, everybody in the crowd's going crazy and everything. And then up next, we got a forward at 6'1", Master.eth. Yeah, everybody, the crowd's going crazy. And I'm sitting there on the bench. I'm ready for them to call out my name. And at 6'2", and then the announcer stops. They said, wait a minute. Something's happening. Who's running out the tunnel? He's back. It's RN1, 6'3", RN1.eth, runs out the tunnel. He's ready to play. And I'm sitting there on the bench like, this MF just came back. What in the? I'm not going to start tonight. So that's what I wanted to do. Ron, welcome back, bro. Welcome back, man. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the ENS Update show, bro. We appreciate you, man. We miss you, man. I just wanted to bring everybody and paint a picture for how, when you're putting in triple doubles every night and then the superstar comes back, it doesn't matter if I'm about to get called into the game. It doesn't matter. If Ron runs out the tunnel, that's who the crowd has come to see and who they come to watch. So I just want to paint that picture for fun this morning, guys. I appreciate you, Ron. But just kind of want to touch on something really quick about the transition and kind of what Kev talked about the digital collections being able to be stored at the banks and things like that. I think what we have to understand, as a whole entire ecosystem, and sometimes we can feel like that we're in this bubble, right? This whole ENS bubble, right? There's so many things that are going on outside this bubble that are happening as things start to develop. With technology. But when you start to see the banks, the centralized banks start to come into play and they're trying to implement these things, right? They have a direct connection to the masses that we possibly don't have, right? So you got to think about that. They have that direct connection. And when we talk about things have to run in parallel with Web 2 and Web 3, these are true things. We're not just saying it, right? These are true things that have to happen in order for that paradigm shift to take place, right? So you got to have, Web 2 run alongside Web 3 in order for people to start to transition. I mean, think about this. People still use checkbooks. People still use money orders. People still use Western Union. People still use cashier's checks. They haven't gone anywhere. They're still being utilized. So that's why I say that, and they're not going to go anywhere anytime soon. They've been around for decades. It's just that the decentralized narrative and the understanding and the technology is something new that people have to start to understand, because when they started to understand, when they, what does this do? King Diamond Guy zombie, you're totally disrespecting me right now.
It's handled. He's removed. He's removed,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah. I'm a talk to him later about that. But like I was saying, these are the types of things that are not going to go anywhere. They happen, right? The transition has to happen. So we have to look at these things as when the centralized people come in, it's an opportunity for the people, the masses, to kind of get to understand the narrative that's going on. So yeah, so that's kind of all I got to say. Just want to say welcome, community. Usually you don't get that type of disrespect in here at the ENS Update show, but I appreciate everybody tapping in this morning. I look forward to the conversation. Thank you.
Two bombs for NFT verse. Please don't. Please. I don't think it was meant to be in a manner of disrespect, brother. I'm sorry if he threw you off your game because you were dropping bombs. Uh, but yeah, please don't take it too personal. I don't think he meant to be disrespectful when he did that. But it is what it is. We get it. We get it sometimes. Anyway, verse. We're glad to have you. You've done a great job holding it down with Ron while Ron was out of the window, and I couldn't agree more. Right, when you talk about checkbooks, you talk about these things that people still use. The first thing I think about is literally my parents. Right, they're still using these things. They're still using the checkbooks, the money orders, this, that, and the third. And that's not a knock to them, but that's what they know. They don't understand signing with Ethereum and Connect Wallet, but they do understand if I brought to them, hey, this is a Bored Ape, this is a great investment, we should invest into it. They would consider that, but now it comes down to they're not going to remember a secret phrase and all that. They much rather have that held in the bank or something of that nature. So it makes me happy to see that traditional world of banks and things of that nature coming into Web3 and understanding how they can coexist where we're going. We'll move the show right along here. Shout out to Verse. Thank you for that. NFL Champ held a phenomenal space with one of the co-founders or the founder of ENS itself, Nick.eth, which I tuned in for the whole entire thing yesterday. It was about an hour, a little bit longer than an hour and a half or so. Champ, if you want to kind of give us a walkthrough of that space you had with Nick yesterday, the key takeaways and what we should expect moving forward, that would be great, brother.
The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
I had to do it today, Kev. I had to, bro. I had to have the intro music. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good today, bro. That space yesterday, bro, went so well, better than I could have ever expected. Yeah, I mean, there was so much covered in probably about an hour and 45 minutes is what like Nick gave us. And I know we jumped around a little bit. Like it was, I mean, we covered everything from harbinger taxes to unstoppable domains. Gave us his opinion. I feel like the questions that I asked, that thankfully like the community came together like 23rd hour and really started submitting a ton of them. We tried to structure them like as best we, shout out to Wavy, my co-host, bro. Like always aces, bro. Wavy, you're the man, brother. Yeah, I mean, in regards to recap, I don't think I would do it justice if I touched on every single thing. What I will say is it's less than 2 hours. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. Go listen to it. Like go listen to it. It's on my page right now. I think it's a great listen. That should be a required listen in my opinion, because if we want to affect any type of change like in these spaces, getting like us being on the same page as Nick and everybody on down in the Dow, I think is absolutely crucial. Obviously, we're seeing it tomorrow. We have the town hall with Alicia. So for those that didn't sign up, I would definitely go to the Dow page and look that up. We're definitely having that. I mean, this is the kind of stuff, like, I don't know if people see it, right? Like, this is the subtle change that happens. And it's like, it kind of creeps in. And like, I notice it obviously because this is what I'm working towards, right? But little things like that, where you make a suggestion and it is taken and implemented, is a really big deal. We got Nick last night to literally say, like, hey, I literally asked him, are you on the same page with us? Like, do you feel that there's a problem or there's an issue in terms of communication, let's say, for example? Yeah, I do think there is. Got it. You want to be a part of the solution? Can we count on you for help? Yes. Like, that's good stuff. That's somebody on the record going, hey, if ENS punks taught me anything, that's somebody on the record literally going, hey, like, yeah, I want to help. Like, I believe that there's some sort of, and that to me, like, really the bottom line for me was like the biggest takeaway was I'm glad that it's that guy at the helm. However you want to talk about it, the Dow, no leader, whatever. But like, to me, if that's the guy doing it, like, I'm good. Like, after that interview yesterday, I feel really fucking good if that is the dude that is kind of looking out for the best interest of this protocol, making sure this ecosystem continues to grow. And now it's up to us to kind of like do our part. Um, yeah, I thought it was great. Definitely go have a listen. I would really be curious to hear kind of what Master Ron have to say, like, after listening to it. Like, for real, like, I would love to really talk about it and kind of get everybody's feedback. I would have liked to see more of us in there. That would have been nice. Kev, I appreciate you staying for the whole time. I just think it's a necessary thing, you know? We had over 500 people in there yesterday. I think, projects from all over the place. Like, we're talking about how this isn't just the ENS community now. When we're talking about what this thing can do, it's literally across the board. You had different NFT projects in there, right? Like, there was, I mean, you name it. It was like an eclectic group of people in there, right? Mostly ENS, but like there was a ton of others. And the other like offshoot that I will say, when I mentioned like there's certain subtleties that maybe people don't notice. Like, Kev, I love that you're now like you and everybody else, like this little bit of like, man, like, we got Nick.eth in a space. Yeah. Why can't we get anybody else?
And I love what it is doing now. People are going out, they're reaching out to people that they want to talk to and bring into the spaces. I cannot encourage that more. We need to do more of it. So, Kev, keep doing it. Everybody else, reach out to the people you want to talk to. You have questions in regards to any of this? Let's get some answers, right? Be a good host, be a gracious host, like make people comfortable, and they'll keep on coming back. And hopefully Nick will come back. I mean, I tried to get him to commit. He did, but he said he's not going to be able to come back for, he's not going to be able to commit on a monthly basis. But I mean, I think overall, honestly, like it went really, really well. I couldn't be more happy. And shout out to Steven from Shark Tank and that whole crew, like for letting out directly on time and shuffling everybody in so that we could start on time. I appreciate you, bro. You're always the fucking, like the consummate professional when it comes to that stuff. So I really appreciate you, man. But yeah, I'm good, man. It was amazing. It was really amazing. I
Oh,
highly encourage everybody.
listen. What's some recaps of the space? Can you give us some recaps for those who were not in the space? We know it was good. It was a great space, but can you just give us a summary of recaps of the actual space? That would be great because there was a lot of good points talked about. There's a lot of great things Nick said. If you do remember, like just small recap of
Yeah, I
the
mean,
most important things you
sure.
got out.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about everything from how ENS got started, right? In terms of like what the summary points were. Like this is why, like I'm not going to do it justice. Like how Nick got, like what Nick, how he got started in the game, true name, right? How it got renamed to ENS Labs. We talked about how many developers ENS Labs has. Where does the money go? Where is the money flowing from one place to another? I'll be here for 10 years if I give you a recap, right? How does the money move, right? What's the story with the DAO, right? Like how many tokens are in there? What's going on with voting? How do we get more involved? We talked about obviously the community having a bigger voice. I covered the harbinger taxes. We talked about the DAO newsletter. Like what could we do to obviously continue to support them? Everything to, can we use the ENS logo, right? If there's certain things that we want to do on the creative side, can we like use the ENS logo? I talked about ENS vision and domain plug. How does he feel that, it's the third party, like those third parties, like, can they potentially abuse power? Is it something he's worried about? Are they going to start a marketplace? I'd go listen to it just for that answer right there, to be perfectly honest. I asked him what he thought about some of the artifacts. It's there's so much, Kev, and honestly, like I really want to push everybody to go listen to it.
Pin it to the top, brother.
Yep, you got it. Thanks.
Yep. Great space, man. Let's give a bomb for NFL champion for going out his way and reaching out and doing that. Nobody told him to do that, right? He just wants to. That's what you call building in the community. Everybody builds in their own way. Everybody has their own voice. Everybody could do something unique to them, and that's what the champ decided to do. He decided to reach out to the founder of Ethereum. Not Ethereum, my bad. Hey, champ, if you could get the founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, on a space, then I will give you my crown.
Challenge accepted.
Love that. But if you do that, I have to be the co-host of that space since I gave the idea.
Deal.
Cool. Let's keep the show moving right along here. Go ahead and pin that to the top. Yep, he just did. For those who didn't catch it yesterday, it is pinned to the top. Like it, save it, go back to it at a later date, but it is definitely worth a listen. Let's keep the show moving right along here. Let's go right over to my let's go to weather report first, and then we'll go to ENS Punks. So 3402, welcome. Hope you're feeling a little bit better. How's the forecast looking today?
Thank you, Kev. Yeah, I'm still a little under the weather, but starting to feel better. GM Wine Wednesday. I'm usually at work on Wednesday, so I'm definitely partaking today. Cheers, Kev, our amazing host. Great to have you back, Ron. Master, as always. My guy Verse, Champ. Great space with Nick yesterday. That was amazing. The weather is coming to you today by Crypto Slam, so let's get to it. Top 24-hour categories. The 999 Club, although the volume has dropped around 37%, it is now pointed up and to the right with minimal price movements and a floor at 29.3 ETH. There have been around 11 three-digit sales in the past week with accepted offers as low as 20 ETH and as high as 44 ETH, 4068.eth. Single ETH emojis bringing in 20 ETH volume in 24 hours and an over 8% drop in floor price to 1 ETH. There was a 6 single emoji bundle sold for 15.1 ETH to none other than the whale Golden Bezos, who may or may not be part of the ENS Maxis. The mystery remains. There is a top offer of 5.8 ETH for Golf Lady Emoji.eth. 100K Club, 24-hour volume up almost 20%, while the floor not moving much at 0.049 ETH. 3 letters heating back up with an almost 1,400% increase in 24-hour volume, and the floor up 4% to 0.047 ETH. XYZ remains the top offer for 30 ETH. The ENS Maxis listings continue to stay limited at only 7% listed, and the floor at 0.059 with a top offer of 0.053. Impressive sales. FRA.E sold for 5.6 ETH, way above floor for a 3-letter. I've been looking forward to a 3-letter bull run for a while. My bags are packed and I'll be ready. Then we have Van.E selling for 1.75 ETH. This next sale is my Wednesday winner as Halloween approaches. Grim Reaper.E sold for 2 ETH. We have a 4-digit premium 0109.E sold for 4.1 ETH. Digits not slowing down in sales at all. A clean 4-letter word dose.E sold for 1.45 ETH. And true emoji combo sales. We have triple champagne clinking glasses sold for 4.6 ETH. In honor, I am air clinking to you, Kev. Cheers. And then we have Quad Crazy Eyes was paper handed for 1.1 ETH. Another Wednesday winner of the day. Last, we have MyLiquidity.e selling for 1.5 ETH. Additional NFT related news per Crypto Slam. Top collections, BAYC up over 38% in sales and 16 transactions in 24 hours. So rare, an over 10% increase, sales over 24,000 transactions and over 7,000 buys. We have Art Blocks up 63.5% in transactions and more than 19% increase in daily sales. For more NFT rankings and market sales, check out cryptoslam.io. They have an ENS Dutch auction currently live, so take a look. That is a wrap for today's forecast. Enjoy your wine. Enjoy your day. Everyone in this room, we are early. It is bright. Enjoy it. Thanks, Kev.
Thank you, 3402 for 3402, and shout out to Crypto Slam for making that report possible. Things it definitely is a lot of nice bids out there for sure. Let me add Ron back on stage real quick. Let's go over to OX Tennis Ball. The stage is yours, brother.
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me again. I appreciate you hosting this every single day. Shout out to NSTverse. He's been kind of my, I wouldn't say Web3 mentor. You know, he always DM'd me, supporting me in my tennis journey. But today I have a special meeting. I've been nagging these people about their brand for the last 6 months. You guys know how big I am with the tennis and all. But finally, they're like, hey, let's talk about this ENS. Because I told them, hey, you need to change your Twitter handle to Salenko.eth. And finally, after, so many months, they're like, let's talk about it. And I think what Ron said earlier, these people, ads are down. Some of these marketing, they have no more ideas, like, honestly. So they're trying to catch that next wave. And the fact that they're having this probably the 3rd or 4th meeting, I already did the JPEGs, things for them to post. I kind of have their ENS logo, their logo on the ENS screen. So basically I have everything in package for them for this today. So hopefully I need all the support from you guys. When they start posting on their official account on Twitter, I need you guys to go rampage it like y'all did the Hublot joint. And like I said, for me, after all that hard work, I mean, even if just one brand just changed their Twitter, they only have 1,200 on their account, on their official account. But on Instagram, hopefully they get big on that. They have over 21,000 followers. They're huge. They're like the top 5 brand in the U.S., actually probably in the world, probably. So with that, I appreciate everybody would support me, and that just makes it better for everybody, right? Because I have all that tennis grill. So hopefully, if they just post this, like, hey, welcome us to the metaverse. Maybe those other brands like, hey, let me go get our names. Guess whose wallet's in? It's in Smitty's wallet, or Pickleball's wallet, or OX Tennis wallet. So, I hope everybody supports. And, like I said, I'll give you guys good news tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And support is a simple like and a retweet. That's literally all it takes, right? And I appreciate your efforts. Tennis ball, good luck on the pitch. And this is the community here to support it, right? We embrace all companies that come into the world of Web3 for change and to understand that, hey, if we don't evolve, we will fade in history. Let's pass it over to ENS Punks. ENS Punks, welcome to the stage, brother. How you doing today?
I'm good, GM Kev. Ron, it's good to have you back. Although, it sort of feels like you took us with you. I felt like I was 15,000 feet up, even though I'm at sea level here. I felt like I was riding that horse and eating that good food. So, it was a fun trip. Thank you. And Master, always dropping the alpha. So we got the starting lineup back, but Verse, you did your thing, held it down, and just everybody else, the speakers, the community, thank everybody for what they do here. I was listening, and I'm just going to switch it up on the fly. I want to kind of maybe, I was going to talk a little bit about alpha, but I'll mix that in with community. So, Champ had that space yesterday. And so, I just want to carry off that. Make no mistake. You want to get involved with the DAO. You want to learn more. You can take it upon yourself, right? And, we want Nick to be in those spaces like he came in last night. But every week there is a DAO meeting. There's the meta governance stewards meeting. You can jump in. Nick's right there. You can ask your questions directly to Nick. And so just as an example, right, there's another meeting every single week, and that would be the ecosystem meeting. And just to put things in perspective, what goes down in these meetings? Well, I was in there last week, right? And guess who else was in there? Cola Labs. We had JC from Cola Labs pitching what they're doing. And it's like you get the alpha firsthand. And, learning about it, seeing it, it's that pitch to the DAO. So, if you want to learn about this stuff, if you want to get the alpha, you want to learn, just be on top of everything going down, get in those DAO meetings, and so shout out to Cola Labs, right? They come in guns blazing, supporting the community, jumping in these spaces, sponsoring. It's what we want to see. We want to see more projects, more builders, more sponsorships. So shout out to them. And to shift gears, they dropped down, unfortunately, but the ENS Maxis, another sponsor. You can't say enough about what they're doing with the community. And I just want to really go deep on this for a second, and that is this, right? Kev talked about it. They pinned it to the top, and they're having the Halloween costume contest. And, hey, I'm close. I like to think I'm close anyway to the Maxis. Don't know who they are. If I did, I wouldn't tell you anyway. But I reached out to them, and I was like, hey, my project's been sick, like button.eth. We were thinking about doing a Halloween contest. Since you're doing it, can we contribute? Can we donate some, bin 6 subdomains? Can we donate some of the like button hearts to your winners? And man, the most amazing response is this: ENS Punks, there's room for everybody. Move forward with it. And we will support you. We will retweet it. We will drive traffic there. And damn, if that doesn't say community, you hear something very similar when you hear Zero and you hear Bloom talking about, their respective marketplaces. And they both repeat that same thing. We are not competition. They look at each other like rising tide raises all ships, and it does. And so special shout out to the ENS Maxis, the project and the community, everything they're doing. So a little bit about that, 3402, again, community. She's helping. She's making some promotional material. We'll get that up. And, we got Kev and we got 3402. They're going to be special judges for our Halloween costume competition. We'll have some fun prizes. Hey, it's like kill two birds with one stone, right? You dress up, Submit your costume to the ENS Maxi. Submit it to Ben Sick. If you don't win the zombie, you might win a Ben Sick. You might get some hearts. And so again, the more people doing this, the more fun it is for the community. And that's what you want to do. You want to encourage, you want to support each other's projects, and that is the definition of community. And so the last thing I'm going to say about community, because I always say this, right? And I don't want it to ever be taken out of context, and I pinned it to the top here. But, ENS Punks, right? I love ENS, but this is why I constantly say I am bullish on the community. So we're always talking about name wrapper. We're talking about subdomains. Kev even said it today. We don't even know how subdomains are going to be used. Binsick, it's a subdomain project. Really, that's just the tech part. The basis is exactly what I was talking about earlier. I go to the DAO meetings. I, know the DAO in and out. I want to bring that info to the community, like Champ said, right? Nick's not always going to be able to do that. He won't even be able to do it every month, but I go every week. I can bring that info in. But listen, this is where it gets crazy, right? Neiman, everybody, hopefully Neiman. ENS websites, right? He built asteroids, or e-steroids as I pronounce it. Everybody else probably pronounces it, but asteroids. It is the Google of ENS websites. And he is a mathematician. He's a PhD in math. When this guy speaks, which is very rarely, he's got his head down, he's always working, he's always building. But when he speaks, you got to listen. And he's already talking about there is another way to do this. There's another way to do the naming system. So he published this paper. Here's the issue with subdomains. And it's a fantastic read. You got to read it. It highlights these issues, and it highlights another way that this whole naming system can be built on ENS. And so it's, instead of subdomains, it would be links, right? And so the quick breakdown, but I want to drive people to it and say, read it, support Neiman. He's asked me to do a space. I will, to have him really talk. Spaces aren't my kind of thing necessarily as host, but I'll do my best. And so the idea is very simple. We don't want to go to Web 2. And he highlighted the problem, right? In Web 2, what is the problem? Well, we've got a user account for Twitter, for Instagram, for every single thing. And we don't want necessarily a subdomain for every single project, for every single platform that gets built on ENS in Web 3. And so instead of subdomains, we could build this entire thing on links. And, early on, maybe you all remember, I did this sort of little fun project, and it was proof of reputation subdomains. I'd mint a subdomain off of ENS Punks. 3402 would mint a subdomain off hers. We would both exchange and trade. And that's proof of reputation. And it's not unlike this concept and idea that Neiman's presented with links. So instead of having a subdomain for every single platform, every single project, they would link to your ENS name. So we get back to this idea where we started, where we want to be, and that is our identity is our global identity. We won't have hundreds of usernames, hundreds of user accounts, hundreds of subdomains. We will have our global identity, and it will be linked to all these projects. They will link to us. We will link to them. And ultimately, what does that do? It creates trust, creates proof of reputation. So, again, it's a little dense. You got this, professor, PhD in math, but read it. It is, it's just this alpha. It is this idea that, look, subdomains, we don't know where that's going to go, but we don't even know that that's going to win. There could be this whole other thing, and then there could be a whole other thing after that. So keep an open mind, always be learning, and always be sharing what you learn with the community. So, I'll wrap it on this. I'll go back to Cola, right? Because I'm talking about math. People say math is the language of the universe. I don't believe that. I think music is the language of the universe. Kev is playing that dope music this morning, and I did a little tweet, right? And it's we always having fun. So always have fun here. That's the word. Fun. Enjoy yourself. That's passion. You're going to keep learning. You're going to keep sharing. And Cola Labs, right? They're tying music, AI, and ENS together. It's an awesome project, a beautiful thing. ENS Punks, because I was in early on that DAO meeting, like I was talking about. I got my Cola Labs ENS.eth music. Everybody should have some music, some custom AI music for their ENS name. If you want to check out mine, 3402, Kev's got hit, their Flexter. Check it out. The whitelist is open. Sign up. It's an awesome project, and that's what's up.
My favorite part of that whole entire ENS Punk segment was when he tried to sing "We're Just Having Fun." That was my favorite part, Punks. So I'm gonna give you another bomb for hearing your voice sing that. But yes, I couldn't agree more. Thank you for educating. Listen, I'll continue to say this. I knew very little about the DAO before Punks came on a consistent basis, breaking it down, because it's this the idea behind a DAO is still so new to society. It's new to society, right? It's a new concept to the world. For the first time, the first time I heard of DAO was probably less than a year ago, or about a year ago. So this is something that people still are trying to understand. Probably 90%, 99.9% of the population has no idea what the fuck a DAO is. So I've been learning about DAOs probably a little bit, probably like the start of this year. As far as the ENS DAO in particular, I didn't know much about it at all. Yeah, because of Punks he's basically my college professor, where I learned 99% about the ENS DAO through Punks. I appreciate that. Appreciate what you do and what you bring to this community, Punks. And let's keep the show moving right along here. Let's go to Stephen Miller, and then I want to hear from Cola Labs. Cola Labs said they have a special announcement. We'll
GM Kev, welcome back, Ron, Master. Hope you're having a great day. Look, guys, there's a lot of people in the community that deserve their flowers this morning. I got to at least shout out two of them. But first and foremost, NFT Verse, you got to keep in mind, man, there's a reason why there's an award out there called the Sixth Man of the Year. Every single team needs backup, my guy, and you were the Sixth Man of the Year. In this case, the Fourth Man of the Year. So appreciate you, boss. I want to go ahead and give a little bit of flowers out to NFL Champ. I made a post last night saying, like, look, I don't want to be snarky because with him, I always just, like to play these back and forth games, but it's always out of love. He absolutely crushed it in that interview last night. If y'all have not listened to it, do. But before that, we had a really phenomenal experience on the Shark Tank, having 3402 in the tank. She was an absolute beast in there. Her analysis was spot on, and frankly, like, I wish that there were more deals to be had. Unfortunately, I think some of the valuations that people were coming in with like in their own minds was a little bit too high. That was kind of the big barrier this time around. But in the future, we hope to have her back. She was fantastic. And again, like, it was a really special episode in my opinion. So that is actually not why I'm here today. I'm not here to promote my own stuff. I'm here to promote something different, because what people don't, or at least I don't believe people have heard enough about, is that there's a space that's returning this week, that has been flying under the radar. And why do I know about this? Well, because I've been putting together this weekly ENS Twitter Space calendar, and everybody and their mother who hosts the Twitter Space has been popping into my DMs being like, "Hey, can you get me on the calendar, boss?" I'm like, I can do my damn best, but like, if you haven't seen this thing, it's pretty full. So the ENS Queens are returning this week. So please keep in mind that they're coming back on Thursdays. They will be in a regular spot of 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, which I'm pretty excited about. I only started to get into the ENS Queens before they had to take a hiatus. But this week, because of the ENS.domains like official space, I believe they're bumping up an hour, so they're going to be 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern time this week, and then they'll be moving back to 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern next week. So worth keeping in mind, guys. That calendar is being updated on the regular now. I have had a couple of extra additions to it, so we'll have an update for you here soon. Big shout out to ENS.sites.eth. He actually put it up onto his ENS domain, which I was kind of floored by. So if you go up to calendar.enssites.eth .limo, you will be able to see the calendar in its most updated version. We will have an update for V1.1 coming up here probably in the next couple of days. But on to the other piece, if you're in the Austin area, I did make this offer a couple different times across the last week or two, but if you hold an ENS Maxi, in fact, screw it. If you hold an ENS domain, please shoot me a DM because I would love it if you would drop into my conference that I'm hosting this Friday. I will comp your ticket. I will straight up give you free access for having an ENS domain or having an ENS Maxi. I would love to see you there. It's a Web3 conference we're calling AGME, otherwise known as Austin's Gonna Make It, and it is being held downtown at the Speakeasy. So please shoot me a DM if you're interested. Would love to have you come out. We got panels on everything from DAOs to NFTs to DeFi to smarter trading strategies. It's going to be a hell of a time. And, honest to God, we've got, I think, 18 speakers lined up across 6 panels. So, you know that there's going to be a lot of fun had and a lot of great networking in play. So please shoot me a DM. Would love to have you down. But otherwise, man, there's just a lot of great people in this space. Lots of love to you.
2 bombs for Stephen Miller. 1 for hosting a phenomenal Shark Tank and really building that brand up to be something special. 2 for looking out for the community. That's what community is all about. That's what community networking relationships is all about. Exactly what Stephen Miller's doing right there, where the free comping everybody's tickets. If you're in the Austin area, I believe he said, check him out. And just real quick, I know you don't want to really promote Shark Tank, but I am. I really like the show because it brings realistic expectation to what domains are worth, right? And for me, in my opinion, it's like, okay, I could get 0.2 for this thing, which for me is not much in current market, or I could wait a couple years or a couple months and get 2E for it, right? So it just comes down to understanding and evaluating your domains. And 2, I think a lot of people have unrealistic, kind of like what Stephen Miller said earlier. A lot of people have unrealistic expectations of what their current market value of domains are. So it's great to see different perspectives and how people are pricing these things. So great show. He does it every Tuesday. Definitely check it out. I'm there every Tuesday. So yeah, let's keep it moving right along here. Let's go over to Cola. Cola, and welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Kev. GM, everyone. Happy Wednesday. This is JC, Head of Growth and Marketing at Cola. It's very good to see everyone here. And thank you, Eunice Punk, for the shout out. And thank you, Kev and NFL Champ, for letting us become your sponsor. And it's my honor to support and sponsor good content, great content creators in the space, right? So as I mentioned before, I'm going to make a big announcement today. So for people who don't know about us, we are a project built on ENS ecosystem. We use AI to generate music to your ENS domain name. It's called E2M, ENS2 Music, and the whitelist is open now, and it will be closing 2 days. So just enter your ambassador's name, ENS Punks 5159 Flexter 3402 to get a spot, right? Okay, so the big announcement here. So what we always thinking about is like how to bring more utility to the ENS ecosystem, right? So what we want to do is provide gated experience to our first group of paying users. Therefore, for people who don't know about us, in addition to E2M, we are developing a music protocol with help of ENS core team. The music protocol will able to link your music digital collectible to your ENS account. So basically, the announcement is your E2M audible identity you get this time will serve as an early bird music pass for the future music and audio products we build on ENS. For example, when we release the beta version of the Cola protocol, you will become our first group of pilot users, right? You guys will be granted early access to link digital music collectible to your ENS domain page. You can set a collectible as background music. Your friends can come to your ENS page to listen to your playlist. We don't know how long it would take to make this open to everyone, but we would like you to be the first group of people try our product because we would like you to grow with Cola with us.
so that your valuable input will help us to improve the functionalities of the product. So this is also our promise to continuously build on ENS system. All right. Another announcement that I would like to make is about subdomain. So people talk about subdomain all the time, like how to utilize subdomain, how to monetize it. But we have an idea, right? So we want mass adoption. So we would like to give away Cola subdomain for people who don't have ENS domain, but really want to try our product. They need to fill out this application, show that they have interest in ENS, show that they know what Cola is, and then we'll give limited subdomain to those people so that they can use our product and try our product to see how cool E2M is. So yeah, pretty much it. Those are the announcements that I would like to make. So thank you, 5159. Thank you, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Hey, real quick, can you repeat that first announcement again so I could make sure I heard that correctly?
Yeah, sure. So basically what we want to do is that we are creating this music protocol, right? So basically it allows you to link your music collectible, for example, any music NFT you purchase on any other platform, back to the ENS domain, so that people can basically listen to the music on your ENS domain, and you can have a playlist. It will just like the Spotify on ENS. So basically, so the E2M pass we are selling this time will serve as an early bird tickets for people who like to try our product. So once we release the protocol, you guys will be the first group of people who can use that.
Love that. Two bombs for you, like I gave you, because what I like about this, if I pass the champ, is this is what innovation in Web3 looks like, and this is why I like what Cola is doing, because when I talk about your wallets will become social platforms, your wallets will become social identities. And if you guys could go way back, I'm gonna give you guys two interesting things. You go way back into what not is it MySpace? I believe it is MySpace. When you went on a profile and it played music. Anytime you went
That's
on
MySpace.
it was MySpace. Yeah, it played music when you went on somebody's profile. Instagram just announced that they're going to be adding music to profiles. When you go on somebody's profile on Instagram, it's going to play a song of choice, right? Now Cola is literally innovating with that in Web3 with ENS domains attached to crypto wallets and things of that nature. So if you guys have not looked at what Cola is doing, this is just the very beginning of what I believe is going to be something really innovative and something extremely cool, especially with ENS. And I'm not just saying that just because they're a sponsor in this in the show, right? I really do think it's innovative. It's different. It's not the same thing. It's really different what they're building, and I am going to enjoy watching the journey from now until see what you guys built out in the next 5 years. But go ahead, champ.
Thanks, Kev. Hey, JC, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad we pulled off yesterday without a hitch. It was amazing working with you. Thank you again. It was really, really awesome. So I just wanted to I had a quick question about, so it's a music pass. Is that going to be, if we mint one of the NFTs that's, let's say, for our domain, does that count as the music pass, or do we have to buy a separate pass?
Yes, that counts as music pass, that you basically will be like an early bird ticket that you can use when our protocol is released. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And in regards to the actual mint, do you want to maybe let everybody know like when you're thinking about the mint, or if there's not a set date, how does it work if we put like one of these promo codes in? How much % do we get off?
So right now the whitelist is open, and so we have a couple of ambassadors here: ENS Punks, 5159, Flexter, 3402. So that basically you just need to enter the ambassador code, and then you can get a spot. And it will. So the launch day. Okay, so the original launch day should have been like October 29th, but it seems like there's some investors who like us to kind of postpone it for a couple of days, but I promise it will be on live within a week. So yeah, so that's my answer. So stay tuned, and thank you guys for supporting us.
Thanks, JC.
Cool, cool. All good. Thanks, JC. Let's keep the show moving right along over here. Let's go over to ATMs. Naif, I love that name. AKA ENS. Wow, the stage is yours, brother.
Yeah, thank you for that. I had a question for Colo Labs. In regards to the whitelist, I went
Yes.
to the I went to your
Mhm.
Twitter handle, but I didn't see how. Do I have to download the app, or how do I get into that to enter the code?
Oh, that's
Maybe
a
I
great
can ask.
question.
Yeah,
Just go
maybe I.
to cola.app. That's our website, cola.app.
Okay.
And then you can see the whitelist is open. Just scroll down and see you can get 10% off for your Audible at ENS. And yeah, so just click join.
Okay.
Yeah. So then just basically enter the code, confirm, connect your wallet, and you're done. All set.
But as far as being able to test it out right now, it's not open to the public. You're still in beta. It's not open for us to test the music out.
Oh, basically you can because it haven't what should I say? So it's not on it's not live yet, but like you can go to our ambassadors page to check some of the music samples we made.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I think I heard some NFL champ was showcasing some of his music, and it kind of blew my mind. So I'm really excited about that. But 5159, thank you for having me up. It's always an honor, to be in this space. 3402 with the weather report, Master, Ron, Steven, everybody in the on the panel and in the space. It's always great to be a part of this, man. And I just wanted to come up and say good morning. It's been an amazing week. Shark Tank, I had a great week, a great day on that. And it's only Wednesday. We still got a few more days, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you everyone, and thanks for having me up.
Thank you for coming on up. Bomb for you for coming on and just saying what's up to the community. That's what I want to see more of. That's what I want to hear more of. I love making relationships with the community, so I appreciate you, brother. I'm going to take this time to kind of recap, because though I know we have an early audience and we also have a later audience. So I want to kind of take this time to kind of go over through some of the updates that I talked about earlier in the day. And one of the main ones, starting with Brantley. Brantley made an amazing thread this morning. I pinned it to the top. It's one of the earlier tweets if you want to scroll all the way. And he basically, clarified the misconception between signing with Ethereum and Connect Wallet. We're all probably really accustomed to seeing Connect Wallet, like kind of how we see on OpenSea and in ENS Vision and domain plug and things of that nature, where we just actively connect your wallet. But he talks about how signing with Ethereum is basically a completely different idea and a completely different thing than just simply connecting your wallet. I'm going to pin a tweet to the top that basically summarizes the main difference. I'm going to read it. Connect Wallet enables your wallet to interact with a user interface without signing you to a centralized service. This only works for some crypto apps. Signing with Ethereum uses an extra step, signing a message to sign you into a centralized server. You can work whether the app is crypto or not, meaning that companies right now, the Instagrams, the Twitters, any traditional Web2 company that allows you to sign in could right now incorporate signing with Ethereum. So I know we talk a lot about wallet adoption in naming your wallet, but this is also something that goes beyond just the simple wallet and giving your wallet an identity. There's decentralized websites. You're signing with Ethereum. There's all these different use cases and utility. And that is why I focus on ENS, right? And not the next rug that somebody is creating out there, because the truth is the utility is right here. Everything you need is right here. Another thing I wanted to bring up is mass adoption looks like Reddit. And what I mean by that is mass adoption looks like hundreds of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands, millions, billions of people interacting with using blockchain technology on a day-to-day basis without even noticing, without even knowing. That's what it looks like, right? And Reddit did it on Polygon, but guess what? Guess how many other big corporations and organizations have partnered with Polygon and is going to be incorporating that technology? Disney is one, for example, right? Starbucks is another one. The NFL is another one, right? So what happens when the NFL, Disney, and Starbucks alone all begin their Web3 plan or program? Is going to look like Reddit in its own way, obviously, in their own strategy. Now, everybody won't be as successful as Reddit, because shout out to whoever was behind that Reddit team. What they did was great, but at least they left the blueprint there that we all can see and copy in our own way. So that's kind of how I'm feeling right there. Those are the quick updates I talked about a little bit earlier in the show. And go ahead, champ.
Just want to say one thing, Kev. So for to that point of like when you're using something and you don't even know you're using blockchain, if you guys look at my PFP, right, you see the ENS symbol and that red circle on the inside also. So those are the two communities that I really dedicate all of my time to. And that red circle is the VV community. They are the prime example of ultimately how you can be using the blockchain and have no idea that you're using the blockchain or even trading NFTs, right? They're digital collectibles. I urge everybody, it's literally in the App Store. Just go start familiarizing yourself. It's like, unless you make a purchase, it's free. Like, go play around, right? Yes, you're going to have to KYC, right? Because it is Disney at the end of the day that you're buying licensed IP from. But go try this stuff out. See what Kev is talking about, because I can't echo that sentiment enough. It's the stuff that we're doing every single day that you're not going to realize. Like, wait a minute, if you trade a stock, if you put an order into a TD Ameritrade, that's using the blockchain. That stock settles right on a blockchain. A lot of this stuff is great. Yeah, Kev, I just wanted to really echo that point and drive it home.
Yeah, I agree, brother. I 100% agree with you, and it's definitely exciting times ahead. Definitely exciting times ahead. And how does this all correlate and tie back to Ethereum? I'm not to Ethereum, to ENS. For me personally, I think ENS is in prime position right now to literally take off in this market. Is in prime position right now. It's just, for me, it's just a couple conversations. I think the ENS team, right, whoever's on that team, needs to do just a little bit of outreach, because these organizations, right, they might not know what ENS is, but they're definitely talking about Web3 on a day-to-day basis in internal meetings, in trying to figure out how can we evolve and adapt with this tech. And imagine now an ENS member from the ENS team is saying, hey, we want to collaborate, we can collaborate. And it only takes one or two. It only takes one or two big names to collaborate with before the rest of the world wakes up. And last thing I would say before I open up to anybody else who wants to add to this is this. MySpace. MySpace was basically the first major social media platform there was. When MySpace came out, everybody, and by the way, MySpace came out, I was like in fourth, fifth grade. I had no business being on there, but it is what it is. When MySpace came out, I was coding as a fourth grader. I was coding as a fifth grader, because to use that platform, it was so, it was so not advanced is the word I'm looking for. It was so technical. You had a code, you had to literally custom build your profile. We were all coding. What is considered crazy today, and that we're so lazy that we can't do today, we had fifth graders doing back when MySpace first came out. But the point I'm trying to make is that eventually evolved into where we see Instagram and Twitter and TikTok today, where you don't code anything and everything is just on the back end. All you have to do is just sign in and post your picture or make your tweet or post your video, and everything's done for you super easily. It wasn't always like that. And the point in the comparison I'm trying to make here is that is how Web3 is going to evolve as well. In the very beginning stages right now, it's very technical, it's very confusing, it's very for some it's probably not that confusing, but it's going to get a lot easier to the point where everybody could come on and it's just seamless on the front end, and that's about it. But anybody on the panel have any final words they want to add on before we kind of call this one a day?
Yeah, Ethereum up 14% today overnight. Like, watch this stuff. We're in a bear market, and Ethereum is trading up 14% from yesterday. And if you follow any of this stuff at all, crypto wise, ENS is going to move in lockstep with where Ethereum goes. And the more success that Ethereum sees as a blockchain, the more adoption, the better that is for the ENS ecosystem. They go hand in hand. It really is the truth. So following one, like, still follow both, but if you follow one, you're following the other.
Sheesh. And that's real quick before I go to punks. That's what they mean, timing the market over timing the market, right? We just don't know. You just don't know, right? Nobody could have predicted that, right? Well, I'm gonna say nobody because there's some real good chart guys out there, but you just don't know. The average person doesn't know. You just don't know timing the market over timing the market. Go ahead, punks, and then we'll end on verse.
Yeah, Kev, I want to carry off what you're talking about, the evolution from MySpace to where we are today. And like you said, you were in fourth grade when MySpace came out. You're just too young, but you got to take one step back from MySpace, right? And for obvious reasons, I always bring it up when I can. Before MySpace, there was GeoCities. You know what I mean? We didn't have a service. If you wanted to have a space on the internet, if you wanted to express yourself, you had your own website. That is decentralization, right? You did not, you didn't live in what they call a sandbox. But you're right. It went from having your own website, building your own thing, expressing yourself, only limited by your imagination, to this more confined thing. But you're exactly right. You could still code, you could add music, you could do the background. And then guess what? It got more restrictive with Facebook. And then it got more restrictive with Twitter and Instagram. But guess what direction it's going with ENS, with the blockchain? It is taking a step back. And we all know that famous phrase, right? Sometimes you need to take a step back to take a giant leap forward. And that's exactly what we're going to see. And that's what I always say. Make no mistake, the metaverse is not. It is not some cartoon 3D virtual world. That is part of it. But what the metaverse is the underlying idea of ownership, of control. And that's what we're taking back. When we express ourselves in Web3, yeah, it'll get seamless. It'll be just as easy as it is right now. But the main difference is this: you will own your identity. You will own your digital assets. You will be able to monetize the traffic, your content, everything you create. And guess what? You'll be able to sell it. You can't do that right now because you live in their sandbox. And so that is the metaverse. Never forget that. Again, I have that legal bias, but it is ownership and control.
That's deep. That's deep, punks. I think that's the alpha of the day. Verse, the best for last. You are the anchor leg. Take us home, brother.
Man, punks always dropping knowledge, so I have to go after punks on this. I'll just leave you guys with this. Say what you want about the whole Elon Musk thing, right? But if this deal closes on Friday with Elon Musk buying Twitter, trust me, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to happen in crypto. And you can say what you want about, his influence. But when you add influence and capital together, there comes innovation, right? There's another level of innovation that happens with that. And he's innovative and he likes crypto. So trust me and mark my words. If that deal happens on Friday, it is going to be humongous for crypto Twitter. I'll leave you guys with that.
I'm rooting for Elon. I want to take the time in a second to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. Our sponsors make this show possible. Without them, we literally would not be doing this. So shout out to Crypto Slam. Crypto Slam is the one that sponsors the weather report segment of the show. They are with us in the audience with the lightning bolt. Shout out to the ENS Maxis. Don't forget, they have a Halloween costume contest going on where they're giving away a free zombie. Shout out to Cola Labs. Cola Labs is really innovating in this space, doing some really cool stuff with music and ENS and AI. And last but not least, shout out to Domain Plug. Domain Plug is the newest ENS marketplace on the market, and they're doing a space at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Thread Girl and Gwayman. I'm going to be there. I'd love for you all to be there as well. And they're also officially releasing and going live sometime this week as well. So stay tuned for that. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, 5159 is out, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
So what, we get drunk. So what, we smoke weed. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out. Hey, let me get a lighter. That's how it's supposed to be. Cause you know I'm high as fuck, and I forgot one. Keep that in there. So what? I keep them rolled up, sagging my pants, not caring what I show. Keep it real with my niggas, keep it playing for these hoes. It look clean, don't it? Washed it the other day, watch how you lean on it. Eat me some 501 jeans on it, roll joints bigger than King Kong's fingers, and smoke them hoes down to they stingers. You a class clown, and if I skip for the damn with your bitch smoking grade A. So what, we get drunk. So what, we smoke weed. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out. That's how it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free.
Yeah, you know what? It's like I'm 17 again, peach fuzz on my face. Looking on the case, trying to find a hella taste. Oh my God, I'm on the chase. Chevy, it's getting kind of heavy. Irrelevant, selling it, dipping away. Time keeps slipping away. Zipping the safe, flipping for pay. Tipping like I'm dripping in paint. Up front, full blunts like a leaf. Put the wheat in the shade.
We get drunk. So what, we smoke weed. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out. That's how it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free. Yeah, roll one, smoke one. When you live like this, you're supposed to party. Roll one, smoke one, and we all just having fun. So we just roll one, smoke one. When you live like this, you're supposed to party. Roll one, smoke one, and we all just